is your syntonic state this morning? You've been to Iran and around the world and down to the deep sea. Wow, what an opportunity. What a meeting. Where else but at Early Risers? Good morning, Early Risers.
Morning.
I'm glad you're here this morning. You had an opportunity to be other places this morning, so I appreciate your presence here. It's good to be here. Thank you for being here. One of my favorite sayings is what you learn after you know it all that counts. Said another way, it's the more you learn, the more you recognize how little you know. About 9 months ago, I announced my high performance leadership project. For those of you who are newer to the group, that is a project, a leadership project that is one of the last steps on the leadership track on the road to Distinguished Toastmaster, which is a goal with which many of us strive. It is a very rigorous leadership development program, inspired by the stories of our early risers, many of our early risers who struggled to get to that first meeting. I thought what an opportunity it would be to get Toastmaster magazines out into our community through the public waiting areas and waiting rooms and let people read about Toastmasters and understand and therefore lower their fear threshold so that they would be more apt to come to meetings or check out a website or that sort of thing. A dream maker. That was my dream. That was my vision. My team for this project would be the vice presidents of membership in the various clubs around the Oklahoma City area. So, to kick off the project, I taught the vice president of membership training last July at officers training. And I announced this project as a membership building idea. And the response was very enthusiastic. People embraced it, thought this would just be a great thing. And it was, for a little while. Intellectually, we all know that we have to crawl before we walk and walk before we run and run before we fly. Well, I started off trying to fly with this project and failed miserably. However, if we use the time-honored definition of success, that is, that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal, and if we're working toward that goal, then we're successful. Much the same idea that we have here at our club is we know that it's what we become by trying to reach President's Distinguished. And not the goal itself that's so important, but it's what we become by reaching that goal. Well, likewise it was with me. It's what I became by trying to reach that goal. I learned some things about leadership in this project. Learned about 4 things. The first one is that if you divide leadership into about 6 categories and examine it under a microscope, you learn some things about leadership. The first one about leadership is you've got to have some vision and values. Vision. Visualization is a very powerful tool to bring your intentions into focus. Direction is about setting the goals and delegating. Persuasion is about getting people to buy in to your ideas. Support is about making the group work as a team. Development is more about one-on-one coaching. And appreciation, the greatest craving of every individual, according to William James, is the need to be appreciated. So I learned a lot. I learned where my strong points were. I learned where my weak points were. Did a pre-post exam. Got a feel. What an opportunity. The second thing I learned is that physical meetings are important. It's important to be able to get the group back together, to hold people accountable, to encourage each other. this was really not possible given the diverse nature of my group and how they were spread out. Our follow-up and support and development was going to be accomplished through email and through conference calls, or so I thought. It just didn't really happen that way. So I learned that it's important to scale your project to where you can have a little more influence. And the third thing that I learned was humility. It's what you learn after you know it all that counts. The more you learn, the more you realize what you don't know. So, summing up, one of the most interesting aspects of this project was the look on people's faces when I announced it at officers training, and the buy-in and the enthusiasm and the embracing, because all of us, or not all of us, but many of us as Toastmasters have experienced that fear that precedes coming to our first Toastmasters meeting. So it was an opportunity to reduce that. So in retrospect and thinking about this, summing up, I'm hoping that somebody in Early Risers will maybe pick up the baton and carry the next leg of this journey and scale this project back maybe to the club level. Because you see, this project requires that we form a new habit. And a new habit, that is picking up a Toastmaster magazine and carrying it out to the community and leaving it in a waiting area, requires a habit. And habits require reinforcement. Almost daily, weekly. So, maybe one of you will pick up the baton and work the next leg of this relay.